Patrick Reed is the rare golfer who can make the locker room say two things that don't belong in the same sentence. He's a major champion, and he always comes with drama. When he's on a Sunday leaderboard, people tense up, not just because he can win, but because something always seems to follow. So, instead of me telling you what to think, let's go straight to the receipts. Here's Patrick Reed in the words of the players who've competed with him, defended him, questioned him, and, in some cases, openly called him out. Before we get into the controversy, we've got to say the obvious part out loud. Reed didn't become famous just because people needed a villain. He became famous because he's a major champion, and when he's in the hunt, people feel it. Even the guys who choose their words carefully still acknowledge his talent. Here's John Rahm and Tyrrell Hatton saying, basically, he can play wherever he wants, but if he's in your league, he makes it stronger.
At this point, just wish him nothing but the best of luck. Hopefully, it all goes well. We're free to choose where we want to play golf. At least that's how it should be. And yeah, he's made his choice. Obviously, nothing really against him. He's been playing fantastic golf, and if he wants to go back, he should have the chance to do so.
I mean, he was out of contract, and he had options, and decided that for him to move forward, he wanted to go back and play on the PGA Tour. So that's his choice, and sure, he's an amazing player, and if he was playing on Live still, he makes the league stronger. But he's chosen his path, and like John said, you can only wish him the best moving forward.
And here's Scotty Scheffler keeping it simple. Reed's a major champ. Having him around matters.
Fans are saying, I think people want the best people playing together again. And so when it comes to great players like a Brooks Koepka or Patrick Reed, I mean, Patrick Reed's a major champion. Brooks Koepka's, I think, won 5 majors. And so having those guys competing out here, I think is great for the tour. I think it's great for the fans. It's great for our sponsors. And I think the last few years, there's just been a lot of noise. And so I think getting those guys back, I think it's another step towards us just being able to play golf again. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Okay, now the part that can't seem to stop following him. With Reed, the talent is real, but so is the trust issue. So when something controversial happens, people don't wait. They assume the worst, and the reaction is never neutral. The Hero World Challenge incident is the perfect example. Reed was playing out of a sandy waste area. Before the shot, cameras caught him taking practice swings that looked like they were moving sand behind the ball, basically improving the spot he was about to play from. It turned into a whole rules firestorm, and he ended up getting penalized. And what mattered wasn't just the penalty. It was how other pros talked about it after. Brooks Koepka got asked straight up if he thought Reed cheated, and Brooks didn't hesitate.
What are your thoughts on that? Was he cheating?
Yeah. I think, yeah. I mean, I don't know what he was doing, playing, building sandcastles in the sand, but if you play the game, you understand the rules, you understand, the integrity that goes on, and I mean, there's no room for it.
That's not a fan argument. That's a peer saying, at this level, you know the rules. There isn't room for this. And when the whole thing turns into a running joke, that tells you the locker room already has an opinion. Here's Justin Thomas trolling Reed about it.
Hey, Reed, is this right?
Then came the embedded ball situation at Torrey Pines. Reed got a ruling that went his way, but the reason it blew up is simple. It looks sketchy on TV, and in golf, if it looks sketchy, players are going to talk, even if an official signs off. That's what Xander Schauffele is getting at here.
Searched for the videos, I just have heard talk amongst the boys out here.
Have you ever ran into a situation like that on the golf course?
I would not put myself and create a situation like that. That's kind of, I wouldn't, if my ball's been embedded, I usually will wait and call someone and kind of wait till everyone's on the same page, wait to look at video. So I try to avoid situations like that just for that reason.
Just to be clear, you wouldn't have picked the ball up?
No, I would wait for an official. You can put a tee in the ground and check your ball. I mean, he did everything by the book, according to the official, and everyone stood by there. Obviously, the talk amongst the boys isn't great, I guess, but he's protected by the tour, and that's all that matters, I guess.
And here's the part that makes Reed such a weird case. Even Rory, who later had a major falling out with him, once said something pretty honest. It was a rare moment of sympathy from Rory, which also proved a bigger point. Reed has a reputation where most people don't give him the benefit of the doubt anymore.
Because you try to give the player the benefit of the doubt, right? He's getting there and he's trying to figure out what way to play the shot. Obviously, he's moved some sand, so it is a penalty. But, I keep saying I don't think it would be a big deal if it wasn't Patrick Reed. And I think, it's almost like it's a lot of people within the game, it's almost like a hobby to sort of kick him when he's down. And I've had great interactions with Patrick. I certainly don't think there was intent there. I mean, that shot right there does look bad. It's very hard for me not to think that, he didn't feel what he was doing. It's a hard one. But again, I'd rather try to give someone the benefit of the doubt and just say, look, it was a mistake, take your penalty, move on.
Then it got personal with Rory. At the DP World Tour event in Dubai, Reed tried to approach Rory on the range. Rory ignored him. Reed later went after him in the media and called him an immature child. Rory's response wasn't subtle. He basically said Reed wasn't living in reality. Here's Rory saying it, and you can hear how done he is.
I didn't feel the need to acknowledge him, so I didn't see a tee come in my direction at all, but apparently that's what happened. Right. And if roles were reversed and I had to throw that tee at him, I'd be expecting a lawsuit. So, I mean, I got a subpoena on Christmas Eve. I don't see you can't pretend like nothing's happening, right? I think that's the thing. It's like, why? That's, we're living in reality here. He's not, so.
This is why Reed is such a unique case. It's not only rules stuff. It's not only fans. It's real friction with other stars, on camera. Now add LIV to all of this, and the Reed conversation gets even touchier. Because when people talk about LIV guys coming back, you can tell who they're genuinely excited to see again, and who they're just willing to tolerate. Rory is the clearest example. When Brooks Koepka comes up, Rory sounds like a real star is being added back into the mix. When Patrick Reed comes up, the tone changes. Rory basically goes, he's played well enough, fair enough, good for him. You can hear it here.
So yeah, I think I think Brooks coming back, one of the best players of our generation, 5-time major champion, that's a big deal. Patrick earning his way back through really good play over on the DP World Tour, that's great for him. And I'm all for anything that makes the PGA Tour stronger, and those two guys coming back make the PGA Tour stronger.
And then you've got players who don't even want to get into the drama. They frame it as a competition thing. The PGA Tour is still where the deepest fields are. So if someone wants back in, it usually means they want to play against the best. Here's Harris English saying that out loud.
Well, I just saw the Patrick news when I was working out in the trailer this morning. I saw it pop up. I didn't do Twitter or anything this morning. I kind of knew the Brooks thing was coming by some of those comments. I didn't know it was going to happen this quickly. But as you're seeing, kind of the dominoes are starting to fall of maybe those guys on the LIV Tour are not that happy out there, and the grass is not greener on the other side, and they're seeing the PGA Tour getting stronger and having more success, and kind of seeing that money's not the end-all be-all. Like, that doesn't fulfill them. It doesn't fulfill me.
And here's JJ Spawn saying the same thing in a simpler way. More good players makes the tour better.
Patrick will be a good asset to this tour, and I think it just speaks volumes to where the tour's headed. And I think it's going to add even more competition, for us that have been here while they left. And, adding Brooks and Patrick now, it's just strengthening our tour, which I think is great.
Now, to be fair, not everyone thinks this stuff should follow him forever. Even when Reed gets crushed publicly, there are moments where people inside golf go, okay, he got penalized. The ruling was made. We're not doing this forever. Tiger said exactly that after the Hero situation. He got his penalty, and it's time to move on.
It was not a lengthy conversation. Pat and I are very good friends. We kept it short and brief, to the point, and as I answered your question yesterday, the rules official gave him 2 shots. He finished at 16 under, 2 back of Henrik, and now we're on to this week.
So what's the real Patrick Reed story? He's a proven winner, good enough that other top players still treat him like a real threat. But he's also a guy whose name has been tied to controversy so often that people react to him differently. You don't get neutral reactions with him. You either get people staying tight-lipped, or you get people saying it straight without any filter. That's why Reed stays polarizing. With him, the talent is real and the doubt is loud.